Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So as always, do me a favor before we dive into these topics. If you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here with a pretty significant rumor regarding a pretty significant remake or remaster. That is a Red Dead Redemption PS5 remaster or remake. We still aren't necessarily sure what exactly it's going to be, but this is being reported by WCCF Tech, and it says the rumored Red Dead Redemption remaster is real, and it's possible that a release is close. This is coming from known insider Colin Moriarty. So it says here, last week Rockstar's 2010 hit title was rated again in South Korea, although no further details were included with the rating. It has refueled the hopes of many that the Western-themed action-adventure is again receiving the remaster treatment. Of course, this doesn't mean that a remaster is indeed on the way, and Rockstar hasn't announced anything or commented on the existence of a remaster in any way. Luckily for fans, however, known insider and sometimes leaker, former IGN editor Colin Moriarty has now claimed to have seen confirmation that the remaster is the real deal. He also suggested that a release could be imminent with an announcement following next month. This is what Colin Moriarty said in his most recent episode of the Sacred Symbols podcast. Quote, "I have seen confirmation that this is real. I had someone reach out to me behind the scenes that showed me something that definitely shows this game is coming. Maybe even imminently with an announcement, maybe in August." End quote. So yeah, this is coming from Colin Moriarty, and he is making it clear that this is 100% real. And he has a source that has confirmed this to him and showed him actual proof of this. I think some people are going to be hesitant to get excited about this if it does turn out to be real because of the way Rockstar handled the GTA Trilogy collection. And I'm kind of one of those people, like, I love Red Dead Redemption, and it would be awesome to get a proper remaster. There's also been some rumblings that apparently this might be like a full-blown remake, potentially, which would be insane and certainly something I would be excited about. But it seems like this is real and the announcement is imminent, so I will be sure to update you guys when we get more information. Moving on from that, we have a report that PlayStation is pursuing partnerships in Korea. It says here, Sony Interactive Entertainment is reportedly shopping for PlayStation exclusives and third-party partnerships in Korea, according to a local news site. The company has been eager to expand its gaming business around the globe and has already struck a number of deals with Chinese and Korean developers alongside looking for talent in India. According to MTN Korea via MP1/Zubitech, Sony is in talks to invest in the following developers: Pearl Abyss, developer of upcoming PS4 and PS5 action role-playing game Crimson Desert, NCSoft, developer of PC MMORPG Blade and Soul, Come To Us, developer of mobile game Summoner's War, and NeoWiz Games, publisher of the upcoming PS4 and PS5 Souls-like Lies of P. Sony has made no secret of its desire to secure content around the globe. The company hit the jackpot with Chinese developer miHoYo, netting popular games Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Microsoft has reportedly expressed its regret for overlooking Genshin Impact and is now keen to follow Sony's footsteps around the globe with eyes on Chinese and Korean developers. So yeah, this is not necessarily surprising. It'll be very interesting to see what Sony ends up doing with these Korean developers and these partnerships they're pursuing. Moving on from that, we have some not so great information regarding the PlayStation Mobile division being reported by Gaming Bolt. It says PlayStation Mobile has been going through some changes of late with key departures and recruitments, and another leading figure has now departed. Michael Katkoff, managing director at mobile game developer Savage Game Studios, has announced his departure from the company on LinkedIn. Savage Game Studios was established in 2020 by a number of mobile game developer veterans before being acquired by PlayStation last year. The studio is currently working on a new unannounced AAA mobile live service action game, presumably based on one of PlayStation's established franchises. Last month, it was reported PlayStation Mobile head Nicolas Sebastiani had left the company. Not long afterward, it was confirmed that he had been replaced by two new co-heads of the division, Chris Davis and Oliver Courtmanch. So there you go. This is the update we're getting on the PlayStation Mobile division. Sounds like things aren't going too great over there. It's hard to say. I mean, it could be nothing, but yeah, this is what we're hearing. I have to say I'm not that interested at all in PlayStation's mobile efforts, but I do understand why they are pursuing them. It practically seems necessary at this point, considering just how popular mobile gaming is. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what else comes of this, and what this studio, Savage Game Studios, ends up producing. Moving on from that, though, we have some very significant leaks for some upcoming PlayStation exclusives. The first is in regards to Rise of the Ronin. It says here on WCCF Tech, Team Ninja's next game, Rise of the Ronin, promises to be a rather interesting project. As reported on the Gaming Leaks subreddit, information on the game alongside a few screenshots were leaked today on the Snitch's Discord server. According to the leak, the game will combine mechanics from the Assassin's Creed and Dark Souls series as well as Ghost of Tsushima, and will feature extensive item descriptions that will further develop the lore. Multiple Ubisoft-styled side quests, difficulty options, skills and technique trees, and romance options. Unsurprisingly, the game will also come with a performance and quality mode. Additionally, it seems like the game is not that far from release, as it will release sometime in the first quarter of 2024, most likely in March. Team Ninja has been on a roll lately, releasing plenty of solid action titles built upon the framework of the Neo series, such as Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, and Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. With Rise of the Ronin, the Japanese studio seems to be expanding its trademark formula further, so it will be very interesting to see how the game will combine mechanics from the franchises mentioned above within an open world setting. And for those who aren't aware, Rise of the Ronin is currently in development for PlayStation 5. They're helping with development, or at least Sony is, with the XDev studio. So yeah, this is some pretty interesting information. I can't say any of it is that surprising, because if you go watch the trailer that we got last year for Rise of the Ronin, it really did kind of seem like, yeah, it's taking inspiration from a lot of these different titles, and I think people really like that. I like everything I'm seeing of Rise of the Ronin. Something that really sticks out to me right now, though, is the release date. So we've known for some time that it was targeting a 2024 release, but now we're hearing from a reliable insider that it's targeting the first quarter. So that's either January, February, or March. Of course, the game could get delayed. We haven't really heard anything officially in some time. But if we look at the first quarter of 2024, right now, there is one major game that is confirmed to be launching at that time, that being Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and we have two games that are rumored to be launching within that time frame, that being, as we see now, Rise of the Ronin, but also Silent Hill 2 Remake. So yeah, we'll have to continue to follow this and see what ends up happening, but it's looking like the first quarter of 2024 might be just completely packed when it comes to PlayStation 5 exclusives. But moving on from that, we have a major leak regarding The Last of Us Part 3, although there is a little bit of confusion here because it might actually be in regards to the Last of Us multiplayer. And I do want to, I guess, issue a spoiler warning. If you're somebody who doesn't want to know anything at all that's potentially going to happen in The Last of Us Part 3, or possibly the story regarding The Last of Us multiplayer, then you'll probably want to click off this video. So there's your warning. But this is coming from Daniel RPK, and he says part of the plot will be about a group of scavengers surviving on the outskirts of a post-apocalyptic city, crammed into a Victorian house that serves as their base. They are looking to cast these roles. Lucas, male, affable, but develops a relationship with another young scavenger and will have a turn to show his dark side. Mason, male, a former soldier. When Val gets put in charge, Mason must choose between his loyalty to Ezra and the house. Val, female, leader of the group. Ezra, a male who wants to take the house from Val. And Gracie, a female, 18 to 25. No other details are available on this character. And then it says here, another supposed insider who normally focuses on movie-related stuff, viewer Annan, claims that motion capture and audio recording begins later this year, with Ellie having a role at least as big as she did in The Last of Us Part 2. Now, this is where things get kind of confusing, because this information that's coming out supposedly about The Last of Us Part 3 at least everything we just went over, excluding Ellie, doesn't really seem like it's actually going to be part of The Last of Us 3. A lot of people are reading this and thinking this is very likely the story that we're going to get in The Last of Us multiplayer. And for those who aren't aware, Neil Druckmann did confirm that with The Last of Us multiplayer game, it does have its own story. It has a new cast of characters. And when you look at how many new characters are being introduced here, and they all seem to play a pretty important role, and also how this person, Daniel RPK, has not said anything about Ellie or any of the previous characters, it seems very likely that this person is confusing this info to be The Last of Us 3, but it's actually for the multiplayer game. But this viewer and an individual, this is somebody who has been saying in the past that, yeah, The Last of Us Part 3 is in development. He knows this, and he was kind of relaying that information to everybody, and now he's kind of chiming in and saying that, yeah, Ellie is going to be in The Last of Us Part 3. She's going to have as big of a role as she did in Part 2. To me, it just seems like some wires are getting crossed here, and, you know, this makes a lot of sense to me. We know that The Last of Us multiplayer didn't get canceled. We know that it's likely still going to release, and we do know that it is said to have a story. So everything that we're reading about these new characters, Val, Ezra, Mason, it seems like this is the story that's going to be there in The Last of Us multiplayer. It seems very likely that The Last of Us Part 3 is also in development, though Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog did confirm that they are working on a new single-player game. I think a lot of people read that as they're making a new IP. It's worth noting that just because they say a new single-player game, that doesn't mean it's a new IP. If they didn't specifically say it's a new IP or new property, then it could be anything. So yeah, at this point, it just seems like we're going to have to sit tight and either wait for more information to let us know what exactly we're looking at here. Like, is this actually the story for the multiplayer, or are these new characters actually going to be part of The Last of Us Part 3? So we're going to have to remain patient on that. But yeah, this is what we're hearing. And so I'm going to leave it to you guys. Make of it what you will, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. That's going to do it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. Leave it a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.